NHL start, you know he'll be nervous. He's a well-liked guy in the dressing room, and the Sharks have to play well in front of him.
And we're underway. Only the second meeting this year between these clubs as the Sharks handed Colorado a 4-2 win at the Shark Tank back in December. Interestingly, though, two teams in a similar region of the country in the same conference, and this is only their second game of the year as Marco Sturm is called offside. Let's look at our Southwest Airlines starters. In goal, Yevgeny Nabokov, 25 years of age, from Kazakhstan. His first NHL start, as you mentioned off the top. He's appeared in games against Nashville and St. Louis. He hasn't really let in a goal that he's had a chance to stop, although he was on the ice and charged against that goal versus St. Louis. And Patrick Roy, who's been an outstanding netminder in his 16 years in the NHL. He loves playing the Sharks. He does very well against them. And as you see, his numbers are right up there again as Steve Shields gets a rest tonight. Face-off just across center ice. Colorado coming in with the best record in the Northwest Division of 24-17-5. The Sharks third right now in the Pacific at 21-22-5. So the loss in Chicago Monday night dropped the Sharks back a game under 500 again. But if you factor in those points for ties, they actually have a record better than 500 based on points. Here's Skula, the rookie on defense for Colorado, up for Chris Drury. Drury sends it rink wide for another rookie, Tanguay. Hayduk has a man open momentarily, but Gary Suter did a good job tying him up. Drury was cruising in front, and Hayduk was looking to get the pass away, but Gary Suter played him tight. Now a breakaway. Here's Stefan Yell, and it's saved by Nabokov.
What a great way to get into the game for Nabokov. His first save on a clear-cut breakaway showed good patience there.
And the Colorado Avalanche almost scored on their first shot for a fourth straight game, which might be some kind of record if they kept that record. Here's Stefan Yell again. Can't clear the zone. Scott Hannon sending it in. Now it's back around to Todd Harvey at the side. A one-timer by Korolyuk. And Waugh might have gotten a piece of that. Here's Chris Dingman. Gets it off the boards and steers it over to DeVries. And the Avs clear it out. Dingman trying to beat Hannon to the touch-up, and he does. But Korolyuk's there to pick it up for the Sharks. Here's Corky coming off a goal in Chicago the other night. Steers it to the left wing side. He's tied up by Clem. Now here's Marleau. Sets up in front. Nobody there. Rathje keeps it in at the blue line. He'll send it around. Ron Stern making a move to the corner. Can't reach it in time, and it's Ragnarsson back at his own blue line.
Patrick Marleau showing great speed up front and an excellent forecheck. Stole the puck away from Colorado. Tried to make a quick pass out front. Unfortunately, none of his teammates were there.
Dave Lowry pursuing as it's kept in by Ragnarsson at the line. Patrick Roy active as he comes quickly out to play that with the goal stick, and Colorado clears it down again. We've played under 3 minutes in this first period, no score, but Yevgeny Nabokov has already stopped a breakaway chance by Stefan Yell. Colorado, in their 3 prior games to this one, had scored on their first shot of the hockey game. And every time they did it in less time. First it was 55 seconds in, then 28 seconds in. And in their last win over Phoenix here, they scored 13 seconds in. They almost made it 4 straight on that Yell breakaway chance. Now Milan Hayduk clearing it across the blue line. Wanted Drury on the play. Sharks send it back into the Colorado end. Skula over to his defensive partner DeVries. DeVries chipping it ahead. Now the Avalanche come to center. Good back check by Mike Ricci. Took it away from Drury. And now it's Nolan chipping it up to center ice. No score here in the first period. We're live at the Pepsi Center. Our first visit here to this brand new $160 million arena, replacing the old McNichols Arena, which they're in the process of demolishing. Here's Nolan firing it in. It rims around to the left side. Now loose puck in front. Alexei Gusarov, back from his 2-game suspension, turns it over. Now Damphus to the net. Score! Oh no, he hit the post. Oh, Vinny Damphus with a great backhand chance. I thought it was in, but it hit the pipe.
And then Jeff Friesen had a great follow-up attempt. I think he knocked it out of midair. Unfortunately, just pushed it wide to that left post.
Peter Forsberg jams it into the Shark zone. Scott Hannon trying to clear Kent. Here's Forsberg on the puck. Leaves it at the point. It's a turnover for Todd Harvey. And Harvey will cross center ice and clear it in as the Sharks change up.
Well, Vinny Donfus with a great move on that scoring opportunity. It was a 2-on-1 out front. First looked for the pass, but showed good patience. Hung on to the puck, found himself all alone in front. And as you mentioned, Randy, a nice backhand just off the inside of the right post.
Donfus coming off that 3-assist game in Chicago on Monday night. That broke his 9-game slump where he had just 1 assist over that stretch of games. Let's look at who's in the game tonight. Sutton going on the injured reserve list with more wrist problems.
There's Vinny Donfus, head up the whole way, looking for the pass. It wasn't there. There's the shot and the follow-up attempt from Jeff Friesen.
Stefan Matteau, Brant Myers, and Tony Granato, the healthy scratches for Daryl Sutter tonight here in Denver. Now Todd Harvey working on this new line with Marleau and Korolyuk. Corky turning away from Sean Podine, gets it back to Suter. Suter's had a great stretch of late for the Sharks. Can't get past center ice though. And now Korolyuk will turn away from Podine. Suter up for Harvey. Now Brad Stewart fires it in. Marleau moving to the far side of the ice, can't corral it. Korolyuk draws it back outside the zone as the Sharks get organized. His pass for Ron Stern, gobbled up by Sandis Ozolinsh. Now Eric Messier giving along the near side boards, goes back after it in the corner. A big hit thrown by Jeff Odgers on Ron Sutter. Now it's Messier behind the net, gets it to Forsberg. Forsberg moved off the puck, back to Gusarov, who holds it into the zone. Poked away from in front by Ragnarsson, and the puck comes weakly wide of the net. Now Ragnarsson with a hit on Messier, and Marcus Ragnarsson is going to get a penalty.
He finished the check on Messier, maybe just a little too strongly. He's going to get a roughing call on this. Messier actually turned around and took a swipe at him too. Just the one penalty on the play. You see Messier with a puck along the boards. There's the hit from behind. See Messier with a bit of a retaliation to the back of the helmet of Marcus Ragnarsson. Chances are you'll see Marcus Ragnarsson and Mike Rathje out there whenever Daryl Sutter can match up lines against that Peter Forsberg unit.
Again, if you joined us late, Joe Sakic, a late scratch. In fact, right before game time, the Avs put out a press release saying that Sakic had the flu and wouldn't play. That's the 20th game that Colorado has had to go without Joe Sakic. Throw in 25 that Forsberg's missed with injury. And you see how well they've done despite that adversity.
And they played an awful lot of those games on the road early. And all that Bob Hartley, head coach of Colorado, wanted to do was stay at 500. And they accomplished that. And they've been getting very hot at home, as we mentioned in the open. Now 9 games undefeated in their last 9 games here at the Pepsi Center.
Colorado, as you see, second on the power play in the NHL, but they are number 1 at home as Sandis Ozolinsh's shot is stopped by Nabokov. Now Ozolinsh back at the blue line again, and the rebound cleared to the near board. Here's Hayduk. He'll drop it down low to Forsberg. Finds an opening. It's Drury. Moved off the puck nicely, though, by Suter, but the Avalanche hold on. Here's Forsberg working at the edge of the faceoff circle. Throws it to the other point for Ozolinsh. Couple of nice saves in tight by Nabokov. Now here's Forsberg behind the net. Has Hayduk open, but has to go back to the blue line, and it's broken up by Marco Sturm. Sturm, one of the fastest skaters in hockey, gets the shot away, and Waugh makes the save.
Well, unfortunately, he's being chased down by another pretty quick skater, Sandis Ozolinsh, who's got great wheels, took the angle on Marco Sturm. Sturm a little tired, made the right decision, took the shot. Waugh was there for the save.
Brad Stewart fired a shot in from behind his own blue line, gloved on by Waugh. Here's Ozolinsh leading the rush on the power play. Laid in by Skula. Behind the net, it's Nolan. Overskates it, but Norton's there to clean up. Brad Stewart trying to slap it out. Kent. Kept in by Brian Ralston. Now back to the blue line. Ozolinsh's shot gets through, but Nabokov threw a screen, picked it up, and hangs on, and he's been solid here in the early going.
He has looked very confident. I think it was really important for Nabokov to make that first save, and it was a strong one, too, against Yell, one-on-one, a clear-cut breakaway, and he's showing that confidence, really charging the shooters on Ozolinsh. a couple of times, really coming out to take away the angle. And then that last save doing a good job of covering up the rebound as it lay just off to his right.
Nabokov 12-4-3 in Cleveland of the IHL this season, a 2.68 goals against average in what's generally regarded to be a goal scorer's league. We talked to people who've watched the Lumberjacks when Nabokov was there. He carried that club.
Well, yeah, you're going to see between 35 and 40 shots a game when you play in the IHL. So numbers like that, you know he's playing very well.
Jeff Norton out on the penalty kill, works it to the boards, but it's Dave Reed behind the net as the second unit on this power play for Colorado. Here's Reed in front, the tip, and Nabokov again, solid. As 3:24 seconds left on the Ragnarsson minor. Dampu standing in against another superb player, Chris Drury. It's like a factory here in Colorado. They just keep drafting them and sending them out onto the ice. Drury, Hayduk, Tangay, Mark Denis. Great crop of young players that should serve this Colorado franchise well for the immediate future and maybe the midterm future. Here's Forsberg. He's not an old guy by any stretch. Loses the puck. Ron Sutter trying to clear it out. Rathje helps him, and they get it down the ice, and Ragnarsson is back on. So a key kill early here, and you've already pointed it out, Steve. Very important to give Nabokov some confidence back there. He's made some big saves, but they helped him out with a strong penalty kill, too. Now Alexander Korolyuk chasing it down behind the net. Gary Suter there, but it's Hayduk with it. Milan Hayduk leaves it on the boards for Yell. To Drury as they cycle down in the corner. Drury brings it up the boards, dumps it back again for Hayduk. Hayduk checked by Korolyuk, tied up in Corky's skates. Now Rathje standing there, bangs it off the boards, held in by Colorado. Now Korolyuk will get it back, and he'll bring it out to center ice. Intercepted by DeVries, and now Gusarov backpedals.
Well, Alex Korolyuk showing some good defense there. You don't want to get beat coming off the boards by a guy like Milan Hayduk. He played the body perfectly. As a result, Colorado no shots on that last flurry.
11:18 to go here in the first period. No score from Denver. On that top line with Forsberg and Reed. Sakic, Forsberg, and Reed have been quite an awesome threesome over the last 3 or 4 games, putting up big numbers. But Sakic not seeing the Sharks tonight due to the flu, and the Sharks catch a break for the second straight time. Back in December when the Sharks beat Colorado, Sakic was out with an injury. Shot comes in, Nabokov gloves it down, sends it ahead for Sundstrom. He's unable to get it ahead, now kicks it across the blue line, but Forsberg regains possession. Over to Podine, who dumps it in. Here's Sundstrom. Trips up his man as he misplayed the puck. Got away with one there, upending Chris Drury. Sharks not making very many good passes on the last couple of shifts from in their own end.
Well, in their own end, the Colorado Avalanche showing some good speed, especially on the forecheck. Vinny Danfus, we talked about him in the open, 3 assists the last game, and it's not like he's been playing really bad, especially over the last 3-4 contests. He just wasn't getting the points. And part of that was because Owen Nolan and Jeff Friesen, when he was on their line, were kind of going through mini slumps themselves. So it certainly didn't help his situation. But Vinny Danfus, no stranger to slumps. And hopefully he can carry on that strong play we saw in Chicago out for the rest of the year.
All 3 members of that top line getting on the scoring sheet in Chicago. None of them scored goals, but they had a combined 6 assists against the Blackhawks. Nolan stuck on 29 goals right now, which has him 3rd in the NHL going into the night, behind the leader Jaromir Jagr with 34 and Pavel Bure, who has 31. Forsberg waiting on the puck, but Jeff Norton quick there to get it over to Friesen. And now the Sharks organize their attack. Just about halfway through the first period here, no score. Sharks have killed a penalty, stopped a penalty shot. They've been outshot 7-3. Skula to center ice. Danfus bangs it right back in. Vinny hit the post earlier in the period as Patrick Waugh dishes out to the right wing for Ralston. Now here's Dave Reed. Reed maneuvering through traffic. He'll fire it in from center ice. No problem for Nabokov. Now here's Nolan onside, gets it deep as the Sharks want to change.
Well, it's one thing the Sharks want to establish is a bit of a forecheck. They've not been able to do that so far. They've been trying to keep their shifts short, and as a result, every time they dump it in, it seems that someone off the offensive, the forward line, is on a change.
Here's Drury. He'll fire it into the open corner. Rathje moving there. Takes his time to play it up the wing, but it's kept in nicely by DeVries. Now Drury wins the battle behind the net, steers it out in front. Gusarov fires one in that hit a skate. Now here's Ron Sutter. Up the ice, poke check by Gusarov from behind, but Sutter will jam it down to Dave Lowry. Lowry tried to control it with his feet, and it's cleared down by Colorado, and this will go all the way down for icing. 8:42 left here in the first. Still no score from the Pepsi Center. We'll be back. 25th to July 1st with Apple Vacations. If you'd like more info, 408-452-8423. Shot from the left side. Blocked away, and Chris Dingman will work it out to center ice. Nice poke check by Brad Stewart. Dingman ties up Todd Harvey as Marleau has to go back to get it. Here's Stefan Yell trying to get it in front, but it's knocked down by Alexander Korolyuk. Here's Korolyuk ahead for Harvey. Can't corral the pass. Poked back to the blue line by Korolyuk, and Harvey just goes offside.
And we see Todd Harvey on that line with Alex Korolyuk and Marco Sturr make that Patrick Marleau. I think part of the reason Daryl Sutter has done that is to give this line just a little more grit. Over the last 5 or 6 games on the right side, we have seen Nicholas Sundstrom, and I think that Todd Harvey just brings a little bit of another dimension to the line. You don't want teams taking advantage of talented players. Alex Korolyuk and Patrick Marleau definitely fit that category, and he's one of those guys not afraid to drop his gloves.
Corky a little more excited about tonight's game than normal. Tonight's game will be televised in Russia along with Poland, Spain, and France on a tape delayed basis as part of the NHL's international television effort. So a lot of his friends and family will get a chance to watch him, and now we've got a scrum behind the Sharks net.
Now, it looked like a late hit from Colorado, and one of the first guys in there was Todd Harvey. See, Harvey and Odgers are at it right now.
Harvey's hat is off. Odgers is in his face. And those are a couple of feisty guys who look like they're going to get a chance to sit down for a little while.
Well, that's one thing that head coach Daryl Sutter just loves about Harvey. It's his leadership, and he was talking about it this morning. He says it's something that you can't really develop as a player. You either have it or you don't. And Todd Harvey has had it ever since junior. Here you see the late hit by Messier.
Minor penalties to Odgers and Harvey for roughing. Some 4-on-4, and the slap shot by Stewart is blocked. Here's Ricci from the corner. Checked by Reed. Ricci keeping control down there. Marco Sturm tried to get it out to the point for Stewart, but Ralston picked it off. Now Stewart in a battle there with Ralston, and Stewart wins the battle. Ahead for Sturm. If Ozolinsh doesn't block that, Marco may be in on a breakaway. And now we get a delayed offside call. 7:35 left to go here in the first period. Peter Forsberg, as we mentioned, playing with Sakic and Reed as of late, without Sakic tonight. But over the last 10 games, that threesome, we're averaging as a line almost 4 points per game. And Forsberg comes into tonight on a 12-game point-scoring streak.
Yeah, and over those 12 games, I look back, he's a +17. Just phenomenal numbers. People were wondering how he would respond coming back off the shoulder surgery. His first game back, 2 goals and 3 assists against the Calgary Flames.
He got a whack in the back of the knee a couple of nights ago, too, from Chicago's Dave Manson, that Manson ended up getting a 1-game suspension for, but it didn't keep him out of any action. And it doesn't seem like it even slowed him down. Rathje guides it in. Here's Martin Skula. Nice give for Drury, and on to Adam Foote. Foote, one of the best defensemen around, who hasn't played in an All-Star game. And he won't this year either. 4 Avalanche players were named to the All-Star squad, but not Adam Foote. Here's Damphus to Korolyuk. Corky sets up, lets a shot go that ricochets off Skula's skate, and down to center ice. Those four Avs who made the All-Star team: Sakic, Forsberg, Ozolinsh, and Hayduk, as Ragnarsson's offside.
We mentioned Marcus Ragnarsson's going to be out there an awful lot whenever Peter Forsberg's on the ice. Marcus Ragnarsson talking about Forsberg. Of course, he's played with him in the Olympics and on the on the national team for Sweden. He said there's not a stronger guy on his skates. And I asked him to compare a guy like Forsberg and Solani, and he says, well, sometimes Solani will just kind of float for most of the game and then just all of a sudden really beat you with his speed, whereas Forsberg just seems to be in the trenches every single shift that he's out there.
He'd be the guy I'd want if I was starting a team.
And he can do it all, both ends of the rink too.
And here he comes through center ice. Two Sharks back on defense. Here's Forsberg. He gets wide now to the middle, and the wrist shot had a chance, but deflected wide. What a powerful move by Peter Forsberg. Now Korolyuk coming back the other way. Knocked off balance a bit by Forsberg, then checked by Tanguay. And John Clem recovers for the Avalanche. Odgers and Harvey back on the ice as we're back to 5-on-5. Forsberg holding up, gives in close to Tanguay, and a shot came off a skate. Now a penalty coming up to the Sharks. It'll be Todd Harvey going right back to the penalty box. Law comes out for an extra skater, though, as Sean Podine controls. In front for Aaron Miller. He couldn't get a shot away, and now the Sharks will control it. We'll get the whistle, and another 5 shots, and kept Yevgeny Nabokov busy. Top power play goal scorer for Colorado this year is Hayduk. He has 9. And Adam Foote has to chase it out to center ice. Here's Sandis Ozolinsh, leading scorer among all defensemen in the NHL, and you've got to throw him into the mix for the Norris Trophy. Here's Ozolinsh, shot saved by Nabokov. Oh, does he look steady back there?
Well, he's showing an awful lot of confidence right now, and that's a tougher save than it looks like. Ozolinsh coming down his off wing, gets the shot off, and he's got a defenseman standing between the shooter and the puck. We'll get a great look at it here. Watch Nabokov and what he's going to see. Marcus Ragnarsson at the last second lunged at that puck. Momentarily, Nabokov could not see it, but then he picked it up through the stick and through the skates. And he is being cool as a cucumber so far. Perfect in the 9 shots he's faced.
Nabokov played 52 minutes in a mop-up role over 2 different games at Nashville and home against St. Louis in the Leafs Shields. He made 19 saves over that span and then was charged for that fluke goal by Mateau that he had no chance to stop. He was almost on the Sharks bench when it went in. Here's Forsberg behind the net. Here's Drury at the side, and he put it through the goal mouth. Nobody there to tip it home for Colorado. Here's Hayduk. He's got Drury parked in front. He button hooks back up to the line. A one-timer by Foote. Look at that. No rebound from Nabokov, with Drury there just hanging for a possible loose puck.
Well, I've been very impressed with the way Nabokov's been handling his rebounds. When you have a team like Colorado, that's something they thrive on in front. Quick forwards who like to jump on loose pucks. Foote's got a heavy shot, too. And that shot controlled very responsibly by Nabokov. You see the white jersey hanging out in front. Right now, Nabokov talking things over with LaRue, one of the referees tonight. His English is surprisingly good. I had a chance to talk to him this morning, and he didn't seem very nervous. Of course, he didn't have a lot to say either, but obviously very focused to start this game.
Bottom line, he wasn't sure who you were. Hasn't been around long enough. He's barely getting to know everybody. Cleared back into the Avalanche zone. 1:05 to go here on the second Colorado power play of the opening period. Sharks being outshot 10-3. But a big chunk of those shots have come on the power play for the Avalanche. 7 of them to be exact. Brad Stewart trying to clear one out. It goes into the crowd on the far boards. Dug out by Colorado, and a shovel pass over to the left point. They were looking to get it to Skula, but he had moved over to the right side. Now Wall the way out to the corner, guides it over to the other side for Ozolinsh. Here's Ralston. Touch pass over to Reed. Reed trying to get wide on Gary Suter. Falls. Sutter's there. He gives it away behind the net. Swept around for Reed. Now Tanguay setting up at the edge of the circle. Tried to get back to Ralston. He was thinking one-timer, but couldn't handle the puck cleanly. Now he dishes back to the blue line. Ozolinsh just kept it in. What's Ozolinsh doing all the way back at the blue line? And it's cleared down by Sutter. And the Sharks have pretty much killed this one off. One last rush here. Ozolinsh cross ice. He's got Drury, but Norton is there. And Jeff Norton clears it down. Here's a chance for Friesen. But just guiding it away is Skula, as the Sharks are perfect on the penalty kills so far.
Well, the Sharks are doing a good job penalty killing. The shots the Blackhawk did stop on that last one from well out.
Scramble in front on Ricci's dump in. Harvey was there, couldn't get one on it. Now Forsberg dumps it out blindly behind it, between his legs, and gets it over to the near side as Harvey put a big hit on Skula on this seamless glass here in Colorado. I found it curious that they went with the seamless glass here, but they have improved it. The new generation of seamless glass has a lot more give. A lot of concerts and trade shows and things of that nature, but they really put a premium on improving the ice here. And the key way they've done that is keeping the building colder. Here's Korolyuk in front, wanted Nolan, but it was just out of his reach, and Rathje will retrieve back for the Sharks. Pursued by Chris Dingman, leaves it for Ragnarsson. Now Nolan up ice for Korolyuk. Korolyuk's got Marleau with him. Marleau can't handle it cleanly as he's tied up on the far side by Adam Foote. Now Corky out of the corner. Gives it over to Nolan. Nolan at the goal line, back to Rathje. Rathje in front, tipped by Marleau. Korolyuk looking for it. And Colorado still unable to clear it out. Nolan to Korolyuk. Back to Marleau, and it's off the edge of the glove of Patrick Roy. That was the shot they wanted on this shift, and Patrick Marleau got all of it.
It was a great keep in too. Owen Nolan with one hand on his stick just cradled it in at the blue line. A quick pass to Corky, and the Corky, the one-time pass over to Patrick Marleau. You're right, Randy, that's the shot they wanted. I think he pulled it just a little bit wide.
Well, as Bob Hartley has juggled his line throughout this first period, in fact getting Forsberg on the ice with every line, he's juggled the Sharks up too, with Nolan working with Marleau and Korolyuk on that last shift. And now we have our first Colorado penalty. Looks like John Clem.
And it's Ron Stern who draws the penalty, going hard to the net. Clem all over him. I believe it's a hold or an interference call. Ronnie Stern still not 100% from that injury, but he's still back in the lineup. As we look at Bob Hartley, and we talked about the team chemistry that he felt his job was to start things off this year. We'll take a tail look at that penalty. Clem just with his stick between the legs of Ronnie Stern, knocking him down.
18-10, time of the minor penalty to Clem. And the first Sharks power play. They scored 3 power play goals in Chicago Monday night. 3 for 9. But that was after a stretch where they went 1 for 36.
There's a quick three-way passing play, and that great shot that just missed the right post by about 6 inches. You see the cradle there by Nolan, and that quick pass, and that was a backhand pass too from Alex Korolyuk. Perfect one-timer by Marleau.
Here's Gary Suter now pulling it back toward the blue line as the Sharks set up with this 4 forward, 1 D-man power play. Suter's shot turned aside by Waugh. Now Friesen checked hard by Drury on the far side, but Suter kept it in. Here's Nolan with a blast. Knuckles in, and Ricci with a chance in front. But Waugh got a piece of it. Sharks keep it moving. Here's Dumfries. Back to Nolan. Now Vinny takes a look. Skates along the boards, pulls up, back to Nolan. Lets one rip, and loose in front, pulled away by Colorado, and Drury gulps it down.
Well, Mike Ricci had a couple of glorious scoring opportunities from out in front of the net. San Jose with one of the better power plays on the road. They are currently ranked 7th overall.
4 shots so far on this power play, and the Sharks aren't halfway into it. Waugh sweeping it up the boards, kept in at the point. Now tied up by Ralston. Ricci comes in, and now it's out of play. Good thing for the Sharks. If Podine gets free of Owen Nolan, he could have been home free. And now Jeff Friesen taking umbrage to that hit from Adam Foote.
I think Podine a little upset with himself. Could have been a clear-cut breakaway, but he put it into his own bench. There's Sean Podine. Last year obtained from the Philadelphia Flyers, in fact signed a 4-year, $4 million contract while he was out with a broken leg. That's the kind of confidence Pierre Lacroix, general manager of these Colorado Avalanche, had in the feisty winger.
Speaking of Lacroix, he signed a new 5-year contract, ending speculation that he might be headed to Montreal to try and turn around the Canadiens, as the rumors build there that changes are in the offing for Montreal. That pretty much put an end to the Lacroix rumors. 5-year deal, and it also solidifies the ownership situation here in Colorado from the standpoint that as they try and sell this franchise, and it is for sale, along with the basketball team, the Nuggets, and the arena itself, it's a lot easier to do when you know, as a potential buyer, that you have the architect in place for the next 5 years. Here's Harvey as this power play continues. Back for Brad Stewart. Now Korolev takes his time, gives down low. Marleau has some trouble with it. Sends it back over to Corky. In front, quick shot, blocked from Harvey. And DeBruys will just guide it down the ice. And that's the end of the period. So the Sharks, with a very active-looking power play, got some shots off. They'll have 9 seconds carryover to start the second period, but not a bad first period coming off the end of a sports restaurant in San Mateo. If you're at home and close to San Mateo, why don't you head on over? They're at 2200 Bridgepoint Parkway at the Bridgepoint Center in San Mateo. SJ Sharkey's there, and they're giving away stuff like Sharks tickets and having a good time. Thanks for joining us. Glad the rest of you can be along here in Denver. Sharks began the period on a power play, but what's left of it has expired, and the team skating back at full strength now in this scoreless contest. Marco Sturm setting up at the left point, gets it down low to Mike Ricci, the former Colorado Avalanche center. At the side, Sturm, a backhander. Wah able to cover it up.
And that's what Mike Ricci does best, control the puck along the boards. He was almost daring players to come at him, and he drew a couple of people out of position, took the hit, but then more importantly centered the puck out front to Marco Sturm, who had a glorious scoring opportunity just off to the right of Patrick Waugh. There's a little flip pass out front. Marco Sturm on the backhand. And Patrick Waugh there for the save. Boy, what a great month it's been for Mike.
Period. Avalanche chalking up 9 minutes and 8 seconds out of the 20-minute period. That's pretty heavy ice time. Gary Suter, though, was right behind him. Suter played 9:04 as Waugh covers up, gives behind the net for Skula. Skula has trouble back there, but wheels it around past Owen Nolan. Now Adam Foote gets it back from Peter Forsberg. Nice play along the boards by Brad Stewart to break up the Colorado rush. Freezing in on the forecheck. Here's Damphus. Got it away, but then lost sight of the puck. Colorado able to clear it back out. Here's Nolan firing it in. Gary Suter working against Ralston, comes up with the puck. Suter along the boards to Friesen, right up the gut, but nobody there for the Sharks as Dave Reed steers it out. Here's Nolan trying to fancy play in the neutral zone. That breaks down, and so does the Colorado attack as Ralston has it intercepted.
Well, early in the second period, San Jose starting to establish a little bit of a forecheck. Good job putting pressure on the puck, and uncharacteristic of Peter Forsberg, a turnover right in front of his own net.
Now a headband up for Chris Drury to Milan Hajduk. Hajduk to Tanguay. Here comes Tanguay in front. Scramble. Nabokov gets his pad down and blocked the shot from Hajduk from the bad angle. Now off the side of the net to Marleau. Marleau trying to clear it out. Sharks trying to get a hold of it as Scott Hannon goes to the corner. He'll fire it around to this side. Waiting on it is Korolev. Now Marleau, a nice knockdown at center ice. Cross ice to Harvey. Harvey gets it deep as Marleau has a jump on John Clem. And he puts him into the boards hard. Now Tanguay to this side for Milan Hajduk. Hajduk. And we've got a penalty. A slash called, I believe, against Jeff Norton. Way back there on Milan.
Bossy, but he says he's a Mike Bossy type.
Ron Stern for slashing at 2:34. Third power play for Colorado on the night. In the corner, Marco Sturm on it. Now back to Ozelin. He tees up. Let's rip. Nabokov again. A solid stop and no rebound.
Well, he's making things look effortless right now, and that shows how much confidence he's got. He has robbed Sandis Ozelin. I believe that's the 5th shot now for Sandis. And you got to give the Sharks defense credit too. They're opening up a lane in front of the goaltender, making sure that he sees everything. I mentioned in the open, he's a well-liked player. His English still needs a little bit of work, but the guys certainly like him, and they want to make it as easy as possible for him. You see the goalie comparison so far in the game.
Nabokov a 9th-round pick of the Sharks back in '94. He was picked 219th overall. Talk about long shots. That's a long shot to get to this level. And tonight, making his first NHL start. Here's on center. Steering it to this side. Marcus Ragnarsson finds an opening and gets it down. Still a minute and a half to go on this power play for Colorado. Coming into tonight with the best home power play in the NHL. 25% on home ice. Here's Forsberg. What a pass. Ozolin's shot is over the net. Now Forsberg on the far board. Back across to Ozolinch again. He tees it up, and Nabokov the save again. Ozolinch gives it to Foot, gets it back. Nabokov another solid stop. As they pepper the Sharks netminder with shots here on this power play. Laid ahead by Ralston into the corner. Now a battle between Rathje and Reed. Forsberg getting worked over a little by Dumfus. Then he swings at the puck. It comes free. And Dumfus will get it out of the zone up towards center ice and dump it down as the Sharks change up their penalty kill.
I'll tell you what, those stops a lot tougher than they look. Dave Reed, the free agent that Colorado picked up in October, was parked in front the whole time, providing a partial screen.
Here's Suter to Nolan. Chance short-handed, but it breaks down right in front of the net. Now 23 to go on the Colorado power play. Here's Adam Foote. Foote skating strongly to the Sharks blue line. Pulls up. Looks behind the net for Hayduk. Hayduk makes a good turn, comes out with the puck, back to the blue line, shot by Foote, blocked by Friesen. Now to the other side. It's Gula to Hayduk, but he took it with a high stick, and it'll go all the way down.
Well, we mentioned his eye-hand coordination. He picked that puck out of the air. It was over the height of the crossbar, which is only 4 feet high. I think Hayduk might have got slashed at the same time. He seems to be favoring that right hand.
That leaves us 3 seconds on the power play.
You see this puck get airborne. Skula just throws it. He's got pressure. There you see the puck clearly up over the crossbar, also over the shoulder of Milan Hayduk. Last year led all rookies in scoring, and another guy who was a great find for these Colorado Avalanche, taken in the 6th round back in '94. Of course, he stayed in the Czech Republic for another 4 years after he was drafted. Last year, his first in the NHL.
Hayduk.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hayduk came to the World All-Star team.
Well, anytime you can step into the NHL and then find yourself playing with Joe Sakic and Peter Forsberg, you know you're doing something right. It takes a special player to play along those two talents.
Friesen right off the draw. As the penalty's over, Stern back on the ice. Colorado with 10 shots on the power play tonight, but they're 0 for 3. Here's Friesen skating away from Drury. Dropped it for Nolan, but Tanguay's in the way, and he'll come up with it. No score. We're about 5 minutes into the second period here in Denver. Clem gets it around and out of the reach of Nabokov. Here's Tanguay moving to it behind the net. Scott Hannon a nice job to cut him off. Here's Hayduk. A tight turn to shake off Patrick Marleau. But good coverage back there as Jeff Norton moves to the puck and up for Jeff Friesen. Friesen to Marleau, who can't handle the pass. Waugh taking his time playing that puck in some traffic. Colorado gets it ahead to Chris Drury. Drury, last year's Calder Trophy winner, as Rookie of the Year in the NHL. Here's a break for the Sharks. Kolyuk down the left side. Waugh with a toe save. Rathje unable to hold it in at the blue line, and it'll come out on the offside call. Percentage in the NHL at .936.
He's got 3 shutouts already. Outstanding. This guy has really come in and performed very well.
Just another guy out of the factory. Here's Sean Podine. Shovels it ahead. Chris Dingman with a step on the defense. But then he spun off the puck by Rathje. They tussle in the corner. Podine got a stick on it. Back behind the net to Dingman, and Rathje, a nice play to move Dingman off the puck. Dingman pursuing it back to the boards. Walked in front by Ragnarsson as Rathje tries to jam it out. Can't. Here's a shot from the angle that Nabokov stopped. Rebound. Another stop by Nabokov. Sean Podine on the rebound again, trying to get it out of the corner toward the net. Here's Dingman, a shot, and he hit the side of the net. Boy, they're peppering shots at the San Jose goal here in the second period. Now Dumfus, a nice play on big Chris Dingman, far side. Here's DeVries holding it in for Colorado. Let the Sharks regain control, and Dumfus will play it out to center ice. Still no score. We've played just about 7 minutes into the second period. Excellent goaltending at both ends, and Yevgeny Nabokov with 16 saves so far in his NHL debut. We'll pause. The Sharks and add scoreless here. And Sharks have been averaging about 2 games a week over the last 2 weeks, so other teams are gaining some of those gains in hand on them as we have an offside play at the San Jose blue line.
Mike Ricci coming back to a town that he played in, won a Stanley Cup here. Back at the start of the 97-98 season that he was traded. In fact, he was out that year, the first part of the year anyway, was out with shoulder surgery. The team played very well in his absence. They were 7-4-3. When he got back in the lineup, he found himself as a third and fourth line center. Pierre Lacroix decided that they, instead of keeping him as a fourth line center, decided to try and get something in return. They did. Sean Donovan in a first-round draft pick, who ended up being Alex Tanguay.
I think they miss him here, though. His style, especially now that they traded Claude Lemieux.
Hey, he was the most popular athlete back in 1996, and that one, John Elway was at the top of his game.
Brad Stewart worked over by Jeff Odgers on the far side. Here's Ricci, and he can't clear it out. Chance for Odgers, whose wrist shot is blocked. Marco Stern will go back to Ricci at center ice. Ricci upended by Messier right in front of the referee, Denny LaRue. No call. Now back in the corner, it's touched up, and we're going to have a penalty as Ricci and Messier come together. Let's see if Nick Magoo sends them both off here. Might just be Ricci.
Kind of a curious call because one of the Sharks had been dragged down earlier. No call on the play. Mike Ricci obviously hot with the call from Magoo. He was motioning with his foot like he was slew-footed on the play. I don't know if we'll be able to pick that up. That was earlier in the shift, I believe.
Well, that's one of the problems with the 2-referee system, and it's worked pretty well, but there are problems. One referee doesn't make a call, like coming up here, LaRue on this play there. He's right in front of it, and then down at the other end, something that seems as marginal is called by the other referee.
Yeah. Well, I guess the other thing that might have happened, too, is that Mike Ricci started mouthing off during the play. And we'll see where Mike Ricci picks up his penalty.
Interference.
Yeah. Messier was the man who went down, so the Sharks forced to kill another power play.
They're perfect so far, but they've dodged a lot of bullets. 10 shots on the power play so far tonight for Colorado. Overall, they're out shooting the Sharks 16-11. So 5-on-5, the Sharks have dominated this game, at least on the shot clock. Off the draw comes back to Adam Foote. He changes positions with Avalanche, who guides one in wide. Looking for a tip there from Dave Reed in front as it's jammed back to center ice. Sharks, one of the top shorthanded teams in the league this year, as Avalanche just keeps it away from Ron Sutter. Now Ralston pokes it into the corner. Rathje gets there in time to Damphus, and Vigneault cleared up ice. Now Avalanche tries to go cross ice. Ron Sutter got in the way, and Colorado will have to retreat. 11 and a half left to go in the second period. Ralston, the give for Forsberg. He tried to muscle his way by Brad Stewart. That didn't work. Here's Reed controlling on the near boards. Down into the corner and in toward the area behind the net to Forsberg. Brad Stewart roughs up Peter Forsberg. Here's Reed with the puck. Thought wraparound, but Nolan was there. Now Reed still controlling behind the net. Nice play by Brad Stewart. And Brad Stewart will fire it off the glass and out of play. This will stay in the zone, but a good shift on the penalty kill for number 7.
He had a great shift because it started with a one-on-one against Peter Forsberg, and Forsberg, one of the best in the entire NHL, also one of the strongest guys on his skates, and he knocked him down. And a little later, with one hand on his stick, a nice poke check, and then the clear of the puck to get the whistle. You know, I think Brad Stewart has made the transition now to the NHL as far as intensity. I think earlier in his career, earlier this year, he was used to playing 35, 40, 45 minutes in junior, and he found himself, I think, standing around a lot earlier on. Now he's really jacking up that intensity and playing at 110% every time he's out there.
Back at the blue line, Skula. Now to Gusarov on this side. And cleared down by Suter. with 37 to go on this power play. And this one hasn't generated near the shot count that the prior ones have for Colorado. Suter fans trying to clear it, but Marco Stern will bail him out. And Stern sends it all the way back.
Well, the key to this power play, or the key to this penalty kill for the Sharks, is they're protecting their own blue line very well. And when Colorado has made the blue line, they haven't spent much time down there.
Stula losing it on the back check. Rathje will bang it off the boards and down. Patrick Waugh gets a hold of the puck. And that's going to do it for this Colorado power play as they go 0 for 4. Here comes Drury on the rush. Dishing back to Gusarov as the teams are back at even strength. Jeff Norton in a crowd comes out with it and sends it up the right side for Korolyuk. He'll try and pick it up off the boards, takes it down low, fires it off the side of Waugh's stick. Here's Drury trying to get the transition to Hayduk. He does, but Hayduk lost the handle. Now after circling, he sends it ahead for DeVries. DeVries checked by Marleau. Dingman tries to move it out of the corner. Here's Clem sending it back up the boards for Dingman. Dingman watched by Hannon. Big Chris Dingman shaking off Hannon back there, but Marleau double teams him. Cleared up the boards to DeVries. Here's DeVries. Korolyuk trying to slow him down. DeVries bangs it off the boards. Play came to the side. And finally Jeff Norton gets it behind the Sharks net.
The Sharks starting to get a little tired right now. They spend an awful lot of time in their own end, and when you do that, you end up running out of gas.
Hannon up to center for Corky. Korolyuk just guides it over to Norton. The Sharks will change up. There's Patrick Marleau still out there on the forecheck trying to get a turnover. He's whacked a couple of times by Clem. Korolyuk on the near board. Nice pass from the other side. A shot, but a weak one by Rathje, and that's cleared back out after it was tipped wide.
Well, the first pass by Alex Korolyuk, perfect, right across through the slide area to a defenseman. The second no-look pass, unfortunately, no one there.
Sutter throws it just wide of the net, hoping Ron Stern can get there. But Colorado clears it out, and now a 2-on-1. And it's Forsberg with Ralston. Forsberg to Ralston, saved by Nabokov. Rathje gets back, chips it up the boards, and now the Sharks come back the other way. Lowry to center. He's got Stern and Sutter with him, but they go offside. Yevgeny Nabokov.
He's square to the shooter, makes another excellent stop.
Just under 8 minutes left to go here in the second period. Good play by Danfus down low as he knocked down Adam Foote, who's complaining to the referee. Here's a chance for Colorado. And good defense in front of the net by Brad Stewart, who, along with Nabokov, has been one of the best Sharks so far tonight in this game.
Absolutely. He was beat on the first move, but he didn't give up, and he stayed with Forsberg. Give him credit. An excellent job to knock him off the puck.
Friesen's shot goes wide. Rebounds all the way out to Danfus. He gets it to the point for Suter. Suter lets one rip off a skate. Now Danfus trying to corral it, but it's Forsberg playing it off the boards and down. No icing on the play as Brad Stewart has to hurry. Colorado changing up, getting Jeff Odgers deep there, but Stewart moves it neatly to Suter on to Ricci. Here's Mike Ricci, two men back for Colorado. Sundstrom goes to the net. Ricci shot blocked. Hannon trying to keep it in. And Drury trying to move it ahead to Odgers, and he does. Here's Jeff Odgers with a slap shot that's blocked by Norton. Now Hannon playing tough against Messier down low. Colorado keeps it in. Dangerous puck in front. Rebounds out to Marco Stern. He'll come cross ice to center. Off Sundstrom to Mike Ricci. Ricci trying to work it in, but Ozolinsh has a hold of it. Nabokov will let this go wide of the net. We'll get an icing call against the Avalanche.
Well, Jeff Odgers, a former captain of the San Jose Sharks, a fan favorite here in the Colorado area.
He's a favorite in the dressing room, too. The players here love him. He'll go to the mat for anybody. He's a great leader. And really, Sharks fans will recall his leadership abilities. It's not often that a fourth-line guy is the captain of a hockey team. Won the year before that, but certainly has a role to play at the NHL level. And he's one of those guys who knows his role. That's the key to Jeff Odgers, one of the keys. That's why he's been around as long as he has. A lot of other players like him who just didn't figure that role part out. Weren't able to last that long. Here's Dingman now for Colorado. Been a standoff so far, no score in the game. with 6:10 left to go. Korolev trying to make a move around DeVries, and he almost pulled it off.
The old stutter stepped through on the brakes and threw some snow. DeVries bit for it.
Ragnarsson dumps it in. Waugh out of the net to sweep it around for Stefan Yell. And Yell will clear it down. And right now, these two teams playing dump and change. As we get on, and Steve Conroy live in the Mile High City. Our first visit here to the Pepsi Center. And I think we are about a mile high up here in the press box, but it's a nice location. A huge improvement over the old McNichols Arena, which was obsolete, and they needed a new rink, and they got a beautiful one here. Here's Ron Stern for the Sharks, overskates it. Ron Sutter gets a hold of it. Now Stern again, run into by DeVries. They tie up as the puck comes loose at the side, and now it's dumped to center ice. Stern and DeVries behind the play, still going at each other, and we get a delayed offside, and it's going to come all the way down, called intentional against the Sharks.
Ronnie Stern trying to draw a penalty there from Greg DeVries, and in fact was goading him into dropping his stick and possibly his gloves to get involved in an altercation. DeVries wasn't going to bite for it. We'll see the contact behind the net. You see Stern and DeVries come together. A couple elbows there by Stern. Nice left glove to the face. Nothing else happens besides some pushing and shoving.
Ronnie Stern, the Sharks penalty minute leader with 94. You'd suspect Jeff Odgers would lead Colorado, and he does with 101.
He had 338 penalty minutes his first year in Calgary. That's going back a little bit. Back a little bit when there was a lot more fighting involved in the NHL. Fighting's definitely down this year. We have not seen that many fighting majors called against the San Jose Sharks.
Teams just aren't playing their enforcers that much. Brent Myers seen very little ice time this season so far. Last time he played was 3-4 games ago. Myers, a healthy scratch tonight, has appeared in only 11 of the 49 games, and he hasn't been hurt. Here's Domfus now, coming off the 3-assist night in Chicago Monday night. All 3 of those assists on the power play. Sharks have only had 1 power play opportunity here in Denver tonight. Dumped in by Friesen, while leaving it for Skula. Rathje has to wait for the zone to clear. Owen Nolan put a big hit on Dave Reed on the far side. Now Rathje sends it in. Here's Nolan trying to move his man off the puck, but Adam Foote, one of the best defensemen around, makes a nice play. Comes to center ice with it. Here's Foote. Moves past Friesen. Foote dumps it in. Nabokov sweeping it to the side. Mike Ricci tied up by Ralston. And finally it comes free to Rathje. Here's Marcus Ragnarsson with 4:08 to go here in the second period of a scoreless game. And Colorado called offside. Ever sweater in this franchise history to be retired might be number 33.
Took along too. Patrick Waugh. I wonder if they'd ever consider retiring a guy like Michel Goulet, who started his career with the organization, although they were the Quebec Nordiques.
Could be. Here's Ricci behind the net as the Sharks try and get on the board. They beat Colorado in their only meeting this year, 4-2, but here on Denver ice, of course their first ever game here, but in this city, all time in the regular season, the Sharks are only 2-10-1, despite winning 2 playoff games here last spring. So in one playoff round, they duplicated their total number of wins since their inception. Here's DeVries up ice for Milan Hajduk. Hajduk patiently handling it at center ice. Now skates away from Marleau. Hajduk trying to put a move on Gary Suter. Gives it off the point. Here's Stefan Yell skating in. Nabokov the save. And great form to stop the second effort.
Well, he's very in control. Very conservative too. Not overreacting to any of the pucks coming at him. And as a result, he's in excellent position for follow-up attempts.
19-11 the shots on goal for Colorado in this game. As we get the whistle on the near boards with 2:43 to go.
Well, this performance by Yevgeny Nabokov really creates some competition, I think, in the goaltending position. It's going to push Steve Shields. I think maybe Steve Shields, a guy who needs to be pushed. Just 2 wins in his last 8 starts since the trade. There's the last stop, and you mentioned that form. Perfect on the follow-up attempt. Here the original save, and look at him. He realizes the rebound, just gets away from him a little bit, but he was there to cover up any second shots.
Nabokov said he never really thought or dreamed about playing in the NHL until he was drafted back in '94, as you see Steve Shields looking on. And Nabokov was actually quite honestly surprised that he was drafted, because he'd been dropped from the Russian national team for the prior 2 years, wasn't playing in the big international tournaments or the World Championships, was playing for Dynamo in the Russian league, but just was not a top national team netminder and didn't think he'd get drafted. But then once the Sharks did draft him and he started educating himself a little bit more about what the NHL was, because he said quite honestly he didn't even really know what the NHL was, then he said, I want to play there someday, and tonight is the manifestation of all that hard work.
And you mentioned the '94 draft. That draft now shaping up to be a pretty good one for the San Jose Sharks. He was taken in the 9th round. Of course, the first rounder, Jeff Friesen, and don't forget Alex Kolyuk, taken in the 6th round in '94.
Of course, rule of thumb in this league is if you get one keeper out of every draft, your scouting department's doing a good job. And now the Sharks can boast 3 NHL players out of that crop from '94. Skula gets it around. Nolan almost stole it from Forsberg, who's been rather quiet this period. Ralston turned over to Suter, but now Reed gets it back. He's got Forsberg with him, but way over on the right wing side, and Reed goes left wing against Brad Stewart, testing the rookie, and that wasn't a good idea because Stewart tied them all up.
Yeah, he stops him again, and he's been out there an awful lot against that Forsberg line, and Brad Stewart certainly hasn't looked out of place. He's played them very hard.
Here's Danforth to center. Ralston moves him off the puck. Now Suter guides it back around for Brad Stewart. Sean Bodine coming in. Stole it from Stewart. Now Stewart trying to jam it past Forsberg. Stewart grabbed onto by Tanguay, but he still is able to move the puck.
Yeah, and you can see the strength of Stewart there. He played an awful lot with just one hand on his stick, using his other hand to hold off the forechecker. Great upper body strength from the youngster.
Stewart at the end of a long shift, working that puck up to center ice. Now the Sharks trying to get their defense changed up. Drury dumps it off the boards, and that's a 2-line pass against Collins.
He's one of the better Sharks defensemen.
If you joined us late, the Sharks catching a bit of a break right before lineups were handed in tonight. Joe Sakic out with the flu, and he's been red hot over the last 2 or 3 weeks for Colorado. Mike Ricci getting it deep into the Colorado zone as we come to the end of the second period. And that will do it. 40 minutes in the book, and nobody has been able to put Nolan line to just one shot, and that was from Owen Nolan. So we're underway with the third as the Sharks try and finish off this brief 2-game road trip with a win here in Colorado. It would be only their 3rd ever in the regular season. And it would set up a pretty nice rematch between these teams next Wednesday. They go right back at it as Colorado, after tonight, heads out on a 5-game road trip. Here's Forsberg. Works his way into the zone. Pulls up on Gary Suter. Good support by Marco Sturm.
And you need support whenever you have Peter Forsberg out there in a one-on-one situation. Gary Suter played it perfectly, and then Marco Sturm providing some extra pressure out there, coming back and stripping the puck off the Colorado Avalanche player.
Here's Vinny Danfus, gains the line, lets it go, and what a save. Big rebound there, but Friesen had skated past it already as he was crashing the net. Here's Drury. He'll drop it at the line. Nabokov reaching out, but it was wide. Now Nolan back the other way as things open up a little bit here early in the third. Dumped ahead, but Skula stopping up behind Patrick Waugh for Colorado.
We saw a very measured game in that second period between both these teams. Not very much given up offensively, and to start this third period, a couple of pretty good end-to-end rushes by both teams.
Here's Ragnarsson. Some traffic back there. Rathje trying to work it out of trouble, and he does over to Alexander Korolyuk. Now Todd Harvey flips it ahead for Korolyuk. He'll go to the corner against Dave Reed. Marlowe there too as the puck comes out along the boards to Peter Forsberg. He can't control it. Scott Hannon dumps it into the corner, looking for Marlowe to move to it. And now Gusarov spun around. Todd Harvey jams it back into the Colorado end. And that one comes off the glass and out of play. Well, the Sharks are moving to this new building, which seats about 2,000 more than the old McNichols Arena did. Not an empty seat in the house, or at least they're all sold. Dave Lowry with a tip on a clearing attempt by Colorado. Now back to center ice. Cannon fans on it as Dingman pursues. Jeff Norton back there dumps it back out just in time. Now Ron Sutter after it. He's got Lowry with him. Clem will flip it around to the other wing. Podine's there. Norton's also there for the Sharks, but Sandis Ozolinsh gets it ahead and back to center ice. Ozolinsh leads all players in this game with 7 shots on goal. That was through 2 periods. Interestingly, perusing the stats in the intermission, Aaron Miller, who's just back tonight from an injury, has the most ice time of any Colorado player.
That is surprising because that was a surprise start for him. He wasn't going to get his first start till Colorado went on the road. I guess he feels pretty good out there.
Adam Foote checked by Marco Sturm. Now on the far boards, it's Tanguay sending it around. Sundstrom tried to get it out. Now here's Tanguay. Across, and a shot by Skula. Didn't get all of it, and the Nabokov able to come up with it. Now here's Sundstrom. Cross ice. He's got Sturm, and the shot is tipped by DeVries and goes way up and out of play.
Well, DeVries made up an awful lot of ice there. Nice deflection off the Sturm shot.
Want to again extend special greetings to those of you who are watching tonight's broadcast live from Score's legendary sports restaurant in San Mateo. Fans there enjoying a good evening, winning Sharks tickets and autographed memorabilia. Score is located at 2200 Bridgeport Parkway. That's in the Bridgepoint Center in San Mateo.
Well, a scoring opportunity by Colorado coming in. Skula bouncing puck there. Mike Ricci deflected that pass from Tanguay. Didn't get a real shot on net.
Now the face-off in the Colorado zone. Forsberg lines up against Vinny Damphousse. Now some jostling away from the puck, and the linesman comes over to sort out Reed and Nolan. Damphousse won the draw cleanly, but right between the 2 defensemen. And Gary Suter gets back. The speedy Brian Ralston tracking him down. Nolan waiting for it on the half boards, turns it over to Forsberg. Here's Forsberg trying to circle the net, comes around. Oh, what a save by Nabokov! He reaches out and simply robs one of the best players in the world.
And Peter Forsberg can't believe it. Nabokov's best save on the night. What a great job to stay with this heady player. Forsberg showing all sorts of patience, walking around the net, off of the turnover from Owen Nolan, tries to pass it up to Damphousse, stolen by Forsberg. Watch him hang on to it, try and go upstairs. I don't think he gets it as high as he would have liked to, but still Nabokov there, ready and waiting. He makes a pretty nice glove save all the same. There you see the turnover from ice level. And I am just amazed by the composure Nabokov is playing with tonight.
Colorado with it again. Here's Reed, a shot on Nabokov, the save. Now Nolan skating ahead as the Sharks get it out of trouble for the moment. Waugh gloves this one down, and he'll hang on. So now the draw down in the Colorado end again as Marleau tries to guide it over to Todd Harvey. John Clem with it up the wing. Bodine sends it ahead, right back to Marcus Ragnarsson. Now Rathje, puck hops up on him. He's run into by Yell. Again, good puck support, though, by Harvey, who came in and got a piece of whoever he could get a piece of. And back around to Ragnarsson. He comes across to Harvey. He'll dump it in from center. Takes a good bounce for Korolyuk to Marleau. Now the Sharks with a chance to set up a little bit here. Marleau tried to dump back low for Harvey. He had to move off his check to get to it. Now Harvey trying to jam it around for Marleau. Korolyuk also back there. Corky pinned to the boards, comes off the boards with it. Here's Korolyuk trying to keep his balance. Back to the blue line. Ragnarsson sending it in. That one hit Marleau in the back. As Clem sends it back up to Sean Podine. Here's Podine trying to come across ice for Dingman. It got blocked and went offside with 15-12 left in the third.
Well, you know, Yevgeny Nabokov was known as John Nabokov last year, and I found out from Roger Ross, one of our public relations people on the trip, that it was Nabokov's agent secretary who had problems spelling the name and saying it, decided to call him John. His English wasn't really good at the time, so he decided to stay with it. So he was John last year, and then it was in training camp this year that Steve Shields suggested that he go back to Yevgeny, and he decided to go with that. So he went from Yevgeny to John, back to Yevgeny, and that's, I guess, how he'll be known from now on in the NHL.
And of course, when he came up, he had to get a nickname. And it's the one he had down in Kentucky. That's usually what happens. Nabby. And he's been nabbing some shots tonight.
Has he ever? He's really in control of his rebounds, and that's a very important aspect for any NHL netminder.
Here's Ron Sutter. Checking line on for the Sharks. Matched up against the Drury line for the Avalanche. Ron Stern trying to reach it behind the net. DeVries cut him off. Now here's Tanguay cross ice, and that goes off Hejduk's stick and onto the Colorado bench.
Well, Milan Hejduk can really do it all. Offensively, obviously really talented. Defensively, very aware in his own end too. And this from a guy who played for 4 years after being drafted in the Czech Republic.
Daryl Sutter, one of those people in the NHL that measures his words when handing out credit and praise to young players, said about Hejduk today he has great hands. Said he reminded him of Mike Bossy, who you alluded to earlier. Sutter said of Hejduk, every time he shoots, it's for a reason.
Yeah, and that is very important. He doesn't waste any shots. He makes sure that he has an alley, that it's going to go on net, and then he also has traffic to support him, either through a screen or possibly a rebound.
Hejduk had 138 shots, leading his team coming into tonight, so I guess he had a lot of reasons. Here's Ron Stern. Trying to get it around, but Drury cut it off. Very close checking game, and it figures to even get tighter here now. Inside of 15 minutes left in the third. Colorado hoping to end this outstanding home stand on a positive note. While the Sharks want to take what they could from the Chicago game, particularly the coming back from 4-1 down, and convert it into success tonight. Nabokov, another stop. Looks like he got a piece of the Drury shot. Now in front, cleared but not out. Here's Tanguay, and he dumps it on net. And Nabokov will cover up. Drury denied by the rookie goalie that time. We'll be back. Back to the left of Nabokov from the draw. Brad Stewart has it. Nabokov's been solid. Down at the other end, Patrick Roy hasn't had much to do. Since the first period, the Sharks have 3 shots on goal. Here's Ozolinsh up the middle for Reed. Back for Ralston. Skates in. Nabokov saved it. He stopped it. And back come the Sharks on the counterattack. Marco Sturm to the line. He'll try and give it off to the left wing. But didn't have enough on the pass to Brad Stewart.
Well, another strong stop there by Nabokov. He had 2 people standing in front of him. Gary Suter and a Colorado Avalanche forward. And he still managed to make the save.
Now Suter slowing the pace down just a little bit after the Sharks got into a little trouble again. Throws it off the boards up for Mike Ricci. And that apparently hit someone up on the Sharks bench.
We got to hand it to Wayne Thomas, assistant general manager of the San Jose Sharks. They would not, the Sharks, have made the trade of Vernon unless they knew they had a guy who could play in the NHL. Nabokov has certainly proved that tonight. There you see the 2 bodies in front. That was Forsberg along with Gary Suter.
From the faceoff, Rafchi just dumps it on net. Now gets it back along the boards, plays it to Nolan. To the corner, Danfus back in front, but Podine cut it off before Jeff Friesen could get to it. Back comes Colorado, Stepan Yell firing it in. A lot of board play here tonight. Rafchi will keep it from Yell. Now Messier worked over by Danfus. Puck still loose as Messier picks his glove back up. Now Yell continuing that battle with Rafchi. Here's Podine in front, drops down. And Yeo tried to wheel that around for a shot, but did not quite have the angle. And he dumps it back into the Shark zone. This will go for an icing against Colorado with 12:06 to go.
Well, I mentioned Wayne Thomas, assistant GM. He's the guy who really liked the way that Yevgeny Nabokov was playing in Cleveland. He was also the man responsible for bringing Steve Shields into the fold. And of course, last year, Steve Shields really a big part of the Sharks making the playoffs. Remember, Shields went 9-0-2 in the month of March last year in 1999. That after Mike Vernon went down with a slight groin injury. And if it wasn't for that strong performance, I don't think the Sharks would have made the playoffs last year. And Steve Shields still among the top 10 in save percentage in the NHL.
Part of Thomas's duties also include general manager of the Kentucky Thoroughblades, the Sharks' top minor league affiliate.
Another goaltender playing very well down there too. Mika Kiprasov.
Here's a chance for Marlowe from the corner. Brings it up the wing. Tried to get it to Hannon. And that's chopped down the ice by the Avalanche. And another icing call against Colorado.
Maybe a step back. I think that game in Chicago was the step back for Scott Hannon. A little bit of a wake-up call. And you got to give him credit. He has responded with a strong performance this evening.
Neither he nor Andy Sutton, who's back on the injured list, looked comfortable in Chicago paired up together. Tonight, Hannon out there with Jeff Morton looking a lot more comfortable.
It's a little different on the road, too. You don't get the matchups that you want. Daryl Sutter talked about that yesterday. And obviously, Chicago trying to take advantage when the youngsters, basically two rookies in the NHL, were out there.
Stewart trying to dump it in, but it was taken away by Reed. Now here's Forsberg. Watched by Gary Suter. Forsberg still with it. Centers it in! Nabokov stopped it!
What a stop.
Unbelievable save!
He might have had a little help here from the goalpost. Just the way he reacted looking back. Brian Ralston can't believe it. Former New Jersey Devil who came over in the trade for Claude Lemieux.
Shark zone. Sutter gets the draw back for Marcus Ragnarsson, and now the crowd trying to get the Avalanche going. Actually can't clear it out. Here's a chance for Colorado. Wrist shot, saved by Nabokov. Squeezes the pads tight and then covers up.
Nabokov making the good decisions here, knowing when he needs to draw when his team's in trouble. And he gets one there. Well, take a look at this last attempt by Brian Ralston, the one off the post. And we'll get a pretty good look at it from overhead. The original shot off the post, and you'll see the puck rebound off that left post, come back, and I guess we're blocked up by the top of the crossbar and the glove from Nabokov. He is being very active between the pipes for the Sharks. 26 stops so far. Still 11:05 to go in the third.
Colorado carrying the play here offensively now for the last few shifts. Here's Clem. Winds up, has room, and it's stopped or blocked, and now the net comes off. As one of the Avalanche, Chris Drury comes flying through the crease. Now Tanguay's in Ron Stern's face, and quickly tempers cool.
And Nabokov got a piece of that, definitely. And it was a nice block coming out to the point by one of the Colorado forwards, and I believe it was Hayduk. Ronnie Stern trying to get out to his check, the defenseman. We'll see it right off the draw. You see San Jose won it, but it goes back to the point. Ronnie Stern tries to go out. Hayduk blocks him out. Clem walks right in. And there you see Nabokov get his blocker on that after Colorado, one of the forwards, ends up crashing into the net.
And the bombs just keep coming from the Avs now, who are out shooting the Sharks in this period 9-1.
And you know, you look at close-ups of Nabokov, and he certainly doesn't look like he's under a lot of pressure, under a lot of stress. Again, his first NHL start against one of the most explosive teams in the entire NHL. He's as cool as a cucumber back there. Maybe he just doesn't know any better.
Colorado has to be getting frustrated with the chances they've had and the times they've been denied.
Well, you can tell in these last three shifts, I think you hit on it, Randy, they've turned it up a notch. What they do, I guess, possibly expose themselves to is possible counterattacks by San Jose. We'll have to see what happens.
Ricci trying to strip it. Gusarov hangs on and gives for Dingman. Now it is momentarily taken away by Sundstrom, but cleared back for Marcus Ragnarsson for the Sharks. Marco Sturm lifts it up the wing for Ricci. He's stood up by Podine. Stefan Yell dumps it back ahead. Rathje handling the puck. He turns away neatly from Dingman. To Sturm. He sidesteps Ralston and fires it in. Sharks change up. Ricci behind the net, left it there. Now gets it back. Here's Ricci looking for an open man. It was Sturm, but he fanned. Now here comes Forsberg, but he's 1-on-2. Got to put it through the skates of Gary Suter. Oh, did Suter play him strong? Colorado still with the puck though. Here's Ralston dishing back behind the net. Forsberg with the puck. Forsberg coming around in the crease and off Nabokov, and the Sharks get it back. Here's Damphus, and he put it right back onto Reed's stick, and luckily the rest of the Colorado forwards had bailed out of the zone. Here's another turnover almost that just gets to Damphus, and the Sharks are playing very dangerously in their own end.
Yeah, those are key areas. 5-10 feet inside your own blue line. You don't want to turn pucks over. The Sharks did a couple of times. Fortunately, no resulting shots on net.
Here's Foote to Hayduk. Hayduk tried to put the move on Norton, who didn't bite. Now Owen Nolan, third leading scorer in the NHL with 29 goals, but he, like everyone else tonight, has been denied. Adam Foote slips a hit from Harvey. Now a near break from Forsberg as it came out of Norton's glove. Here's Marleau down the left side. One man to beat Ozolinsh, and he can't get around him. And it's flipped out of play by Foote with 8:49 left in the third. No score. Sharks on with Steve Conroy, Andrew Remenda. We're live in Denver, and I don't remember seeing this before. Zeros on the board. Sharks being outshot by better than 2-1 margin, but they're hanging in against Colorado in front of rookie Evgeny Nabokov. Colorado's only been held without a goal once this year. They lost 7-0 to Phoenix. Sharks shut out by Anaheim the day after Christmas. That's the only time they've been kept off the scoreboard. Here's Korolyuk. Now it's played back to the blue line by Marleau, but nobody there for the Sharks. He goes back to get it himself. Now loses the puck. Stefan Yell firing it in. Nabokov nicely out of there to slow that puck down behind the net for Jeff Norton.
Yeah, that's the thing about Nabokov, and he hasn't done it a lot tonight, but he's come out and played the puck very well. He doesn't get frazzled when he's outside of the net. Pretty confident back there, and he has to stop it.
Hannon off the boards for Harvey, but it goes right back to Ozolinsh. He plays it into the skates of Korolyuk, but Colorado regains possession. DeVries up the boards. Forsberg trying to corral it. DeVries again with it. Waits for some traffic to clear. Gets it across center ice and into the Shark zone. Jeff Norton guides it out over the line. Flips a pass ahead for Ron Sutter. Sutter cuts in front of Gusarov. Shot on net. Turned aside by Waugh, who's got to be a little cold now. Here's Ron Stern behind the net, annihilated by DeVries. What a hit. Now Stern right back up on his skates, trying to get it away in the corner. No penalties called since the 7:50 mark of the second period. Forsberg checked by Sutter, and Ronnie Sutter gets it back into the Colorado zone.
San Jose now has to concentrate on trying to keep the puck deep on Colorado. Not many shots in this third period. They've got to get it deep, get on the body, which that fourth line was trying to do, and then try and generate some shots on goaltender Patrick Waugh.
Sundstrom just tips it into the Colorado zone. Mike Ricci trying to track down Adam Foote. Back to Ragnarsson trying to settle the rolling puck. Does, and up to Ricci. Ricci gets it to center ice and dumps it into the corner. Patrick Waugh takes a big wide swing at it and fans. And now cleared by Colorado all the way down. This will be another icing call. And there's 6:36 left.
Through his groin area, cauterized the AB nodes, and he says he's been 100% ever since.
Here's Adam Foote off the face-off, dumps it around into the corner for Skula. And the rookie blue liner all the way up to center ice, where it's taken back by Damphus. Damphus gives it to Forsberg, but he's got to wait for his line mate Hayduk to get back on side. Everybody's been Forsberg's line mate tonight. Here's Forsberg again, kicks it over to Drury. Now Drury just wrists it in from the other side of the blue line. Forsberg trying to get to it, but Owen Nolan creates a screen in front of him. Now Nolan battling with Hayduk on the boards. Nolan fell, still moving his feet though to try and get to that puck, and he was upended by Drury. And it's fired again out of play onto the Avs bench. 5:55 left. Still no score here on Fox Sports Net. Inspires the home club to a goal. Everybody's been shut out by Yevgeny Nabokov and Patrick Roy so far tonight, collectively facing 42 shots, but Nabokov's faced 29 of them. And there's number 30. Here's Todd Harvey. He'll come across ice with it. Korolyuk settles it down, dumps it into the corner for Marleau. Now Patrick trying to shake his check back there. Hayduk on the far boards. He'll make a turn and head man it for Drury. Up for Ozelins, but he lost it in his feet. Korolyuk gets it off his skate and jams it back up the board. Ozelins sidesteps the hit from Marleau. Now Ozelins skating it up the middle. Ozelins to Forsberg. Forsberg watched by Stern. Here's Forsberg, and it was blocked, I believe, by Norton in front. As Ozelins tries to get it on the near boards. Picked up by Colorado. Here's the shot from the blue line. Nabokov cannot be beaten yet. DeVries.
It was, in fact, I think 3 of the first 4 stops in Nashville were all either breakaways or partial breakaways.
Here's Rathje in front of his net with 4:48 left in regulation. Chipped up the wing by Ron Stern. A race to the puck, and the Sharks beat out the tag up. Now Ragnarsson has to wait for Lowry, who won that battle behind the net to get out of the zone. Aaron Miller trying to work it up and out, and he does, and it goes all the way back down deep into the Sharks' end. And they'll call a high stick on that of the season. Here's Clem, kept in by Ozelins. Now he's got some room to make a play, sends it cross ice but over the line. Here's Reed. Drags it over the blue line. Ozelins has got it onside. Sends it back to the other point. Forsberg tees it up. Blocked in the faceoff circle. Now Hayduk tussling with Suter along the boards, and they blow it down. And the Sharks' all-time record for fewest shots on the road was just surpassed, so they won't get into the record book tonight, as they had their 13th shot on goal. The team record for fewest on the road is 12. And the fewest at home is 9. That was a barn burner.
Wow. Well, surprising when you've got shooters like Owen Nolan, Jeff Friesen out there, who's got 4 points in his last 2 games, been relatively quiet tonight. It's not just being Patrick Roy out there. Obviously, the whole team defense of this Colorado Avalanche doing a good job shutting down the Shark shooters.
Now the draw coming again in the Shark zone. 3:59 to go. Skula tees it up, and it's blocked by Nolan. And Waugh comes all the way past the hash marks to play that up ice. Not a bad idea with Nolan coming hard after that loose puck. Now fired across ice for Nolan. Here's Owen trying to maneuver around Skula, who made a nice rookie play there. That was a non-rookie play. That was a veteran play. Here's Friesen behind the net. Friesen still with it. At the goal line, sends it out to the point. Damphousse to the side for Nolan, but it was tipped. Here's Owen trying to get a pass to Friesen. Nolan on his backhand. Still trying to move that puck, and he does to Jeff Friesen. Here's Friesen up the middle. Ragnarsson made a move to it, but couldn't get good wood on it. Now Ragnarsson and Ralston battle, and Ralston gets it back for Colorado.
Well, the first real pressure by San Jose in this period. Great puck possession on the perimeter. Unfortunately, they weren't able to penetrate down deep in through the gut. As a result, they didn't end up getting a shot in that last flurry.
Korolyuk sends it in. Waugh mishandles it momentarily. Now gets it up the boards to Hayduk. Here's a 2-on-1 for Colorado. It's Drury with Tanguay. And he hit the post. He hit the pipe. Back come the Sharks. Here's Korolyuk with Harvey. They're 2-on-1. Korolyuk waiting. The pass blocked and cleared back down by the Avalanche. And icing will be called.
Well, things opening up the last couple of rushes here by both teams.
Ricci trying to get the draw back. Brad Stewart a shot. Oh, Sundstrom was looking for a tip, but he couldn't get wood on it. Now Podine sends it deep back into the Shark zone. Stewart quickly after it. Tries to avoid Codine. Stewart took a big body check in the process. Now Ricci with it. Drives it off the boards to Marco Stern. And Stern will flip it out of danger.
This line for Colorado getting on the body out there, trying to create some turnovers deep in the San Jose zone. They were almost successful.
Here's Ozolinsh up the middle. A man shows for the puck. It's Hayduk. Hayduk gains the blue line. Hayduk makes a move down the first line of defense, and the save by Nabokov. Here's Adam Foote. As Colorado just going for it right now. And they've got the puck again. Here's Tanguay at the blue line, and he'll lose possession. Cleared down the ice by the Sharks. Icing waved off. Stern, big hit on Skula. Colorado advancing it. Tanguay check. Drury flips it ahead, and Rafchi will get back for it. Poked ahead over the line to Ron Sutter. Here's Skula guiding it back to his defensive partner Clem. Sutter intercepts that. Now right in front of the Avs bench as they change up. Sharks get it back. Rafchi mishandling the puck. Now he gets back for it. Ahead to Ron Stern. His checking line trying to get off the ice now as we're down to a minute. Here's a turnover by Rafchi to Ralston. But good support there from Jeff Friesen as he takes Ralston right into the corner. Ralston still with the puck. Nolan gets in his way, and Owen comes out with it. Nolan skating up the right wing. Sidesteps one check from Reed. Now Nolan over on the left wing, dumps it ahead. Nolan still after it. Nolan to the corner. Nolan still trying to get a hold of this puck. Here's Nolan with it. Owen in front. Danfus shot. Oh, his stick was just held up as he pulled the trigger. Forsberg turns it over. Friesen, and Waugh makes the save on what might have been the... Standing in the circle against Drury. Hey, 0-0 sounds boring until it comes down to a point of this. Skula. Trying to send it ahead to center ice. Taken by Suter to Stewart. He'll chip it over the blue line. Now played out. Back to center ice. 8 seconds to go, and Skula will dump it into the corner. Suter there. Ahead to Korolyuk. Corky flips it up for Marleau. And the Sharks will get at least a point again tonight as we get set for overtime. What a game. Patrick Waugh at one end, and out with Ragnarsson and Rafchi to start the overtime for the Sharks. Here's Sandis Ozolinsh for Colorado. He weaves through traffic. Ozolinsh up the middle. Ozolinsh still after it. Ozolinsh leaving it to Drury. Shot saved, and Rafchi clears it out.
Oh, another big save by Nabokov. Good speed by Ozolinsh up the ice. Drew a couple of people to him. Drury came in from behind, got the rebound. Nabokov was there again.
Turnover for the Sharks, but Marleau can't advance it. Now here's Ozolinsh against Ragnarsson. Tees it up and shot it wide.
In a 4-on-4 situation, Ozolinsh plays like he's a forward out there. Led 2 rushes in his 45 seconds out there.
Marleau tries a drop pass for Korolyuk, but Drury read it. He'll come cross ice to Adam Foote as Stewart sends it over to Ragnarsson. Sharks in the middle of a defensive change. Ragnarsson over his blue line to Ricci, and it's good skate. But now falling is Forsberg. He'll dump it back around for Adam Foote. We've played a minute of sudden death. Here's Forsberg. Just buying time. Now gets it down low, but Stewart picked it off. Back to Forsberg. Over to Reed. A chance. Saved by Nabokov as he robs Skula.
Well, a couple of speedsters out there for the Colorado Avalanche, and Peter Forsberg and Brian Ralston. A couple of grinders out there for San Jose, and Mike Ricci and Todd Harvey. And Colorado gets a pretty good scoring opportunity. Skula, an offensive defenseman, another rookie, jumps in. And a nice play here from Ralston. The no-look behind the back pass. In perfect positioning again by Nabokov. Not much Skula could find there in the way of open net. Square to the shooter, comes out to challenge a little bit. Skula puts it right into the breadbasket. 34th save for Yevgeny Nabokov.
You want drama? This is drama. Here's a guy in his first NHL start. He's got a chance to make history with a shutout in his first ever NHL start. And here we are in overtime in a scoreless game. Great stuff. Hope you're enjoying it. We sure are here in Denver. And so is this crowd. They're into it. Brad Stewart from the faceoff. Slowly moves it up the wing and then gives it right back to Ozolinsh. Ron Sutter out there takes Ozolinsh out on the far boards. Now Damphou's trying to pick it off of Hayduk, but can't. Hayduk comes across center to Drury. Drury drops it for Hayduk. Here's Hayduk moving in on Stewart. Stewart recovers. Loose in front, and now a penalty to the Sharks. Oh, tough call here in overtime. But Gary Suter, I believe, is going to go to the penalty box.
And you don't see that very often in overtime. Gary Suter not arguing into it, and that's exactly what Herb Brooks did.
From the faceoff, Ricci chips it back in for the Sharks. A 4-on-3 power play here in overtime with Gary Suter off for the hook at 1:37. Ozolinsh drops it for Forsberg. Here they come over the line. The pass to Ozolinsh. Shot saved by Nabokov. Ricci just calmly takes it behind the net, fires it off the boards and down the ice.
An interesting situation here. 4-on-3. A lot of open ice for this potent power play to move the puck around and select a good shot.
Hayduk gets by Rathje, but now Nabokov comes out and he'll scoop it back to the corner. Forsberg gets a stick on it. Now out of the scrum it comes toward Damphou's. He's pulled down. Ozolinsh back to Drury. Drury pass. Gets it back from Hayduk. Now Milan Hayduk to Forsberg. Forsberg trying to force it through and it was blocked. Now Ozolinsh to Forsberg. Stopped by Nabokov. He's got it in his glove. No way. This guy is something else.
What a goaltending clinic Yevgeny Nabokov was putting on. Not only the stops, but the awareness. Here he really poke checks the puck off of Forsberg. Forsberg still gets a shot, but watch how he stays patient. Watch how he doesn't overcommit. Look at him square there. As Forsberg's shooting it, he kind of deflects that and then stays with the puck, has it roll off his body, and then grabs it with the glove. He wanted the stoppage in play, and he's got it.
There's the career win comparison. Waugh with 429, second all-time only to Terry Sawchuk, and Yevgeny Nabokov trying to get his first as we get a timeout called.
Well, I think Bob Hartley realizes that he wants to keep these guys out there. They've been out there for almost a minute on the power play. This gives them a little bit of a rest. They can also talk over some tactics here. 4-on-3.
4 shots in the overtime so far for Colorado. The Sharks don't have a shot. Want to remind you that the Sharks will be back at San Jose Arena Saturday night. And they'll face off against a tough divisional opponent, Paul Kariya, Teemu Selanne, and the Mighty Ducks. And our coverage Saturday night at 7, only here on Fox Sports Net.
Well, if Nabokov gets through this overtime, he'll have almost 2 complete games under his belt. And the only goal he's really given up came off the stick of his own player, Stéphane Matteau, as he was leaving the net for an extra attacker against the St. Louis Blues. There's that last stop, the overhead look, the poke check, the save off the body, and then the presence of mind to stay with it, grab it with his glove.
Now the face-off, and Colorado controls it off the draw. Back to Sandis Ozolinsh. He fakes the shot, gives for Hayduk, stopped by Nabokov. Now in front of the net, cleared back down by Colorado to Ozolinsh. He'll tee it up again, and Nabokov is unbelievable. He's getting in front of everything.
Yeah, he really is. He's making himself a lot bigger than he actually is. And I mentioned earlier, very conservative goaltender, doesn't overreact to many shots. As a result of all that, doesn't look very tired either. We've almost played 63 minutes of hockey right now. It's being absolutely perfect.
Again, they get it from the faceoff. Here's Ozolinsh, board play. Hayduk gets it in his feet. Thought about teeing it up, now gives it back to Ozolinsh. Ozolinsh dishes off to the side to Forsberg. Forsberg back to Ozolinsh. Ozolinsh thought about a shot, now he lets it rip, and Nabokov stopped that too. Still half a minute to go in the power play. Here's Hayduk to Ozolinsh, and it's tipped wide of the net. Back to Ozolinsh again. He's got some time and some room. Ricci goes down. Ozolinsh doesn't have a shot. Now to Hayduk. That's blocked by Ricci, and Rathje clears it down. There's 12 to go on the power play. Here's Ozolinsh. Into Forsberg's feet, and he has to retreat back for it. The forecheck by Damphou's, but Forsberg skates away from it. Here's Hayduk, shot, and it's high. Rathje's got it, and he'll come up ice with it. Here's a chance for the Sharks, 2-on-1. Damphou's to Suter, to Damphou's, and it's stopped by Patrick Waugh. A A minute 12 to go in overtime. Here's Forsberg back the other way. Sharks killed the penalty. They're back at full strength. Forsberg ahead to Drury. Poke checked away by Jeff Norton. Norton clears it up the boards and held in by Ozelich. Here's Ozelich winding up. Shot blocked in front. And the Sharks get it ahead to Damphus. Under a minute to go in overtime. Here's Vinny to Brad Stewart. The rookie crossing the blue line. Stewart pulls up, waits for help. Stewart still with it. Now Stewart. And he dumps it off into the corner. It appeared he had a shot, but decided not to take it. And Ozelich, who's got to be tired, still with the puck for Colorado, dishing it back. Here's Adam Foote, 33 in the overtime. The pass, intercepted by Ragnarsson. He gives it off left wing for Nolan. Here's Owen Nolan to center ice. 3 Avalanche defenders back there. Nolan gets it through them, but Waugh sweeps it around to this side. Here's Stefan Yell. And Nolan passed that down. And a whistle. And there's 16.1 seconds left in this amazing game.
Well, it certainly is amazing. Normally when you talk about 0-0 hockey games, you think about boring, and this thing has been anything but. Outstanding goaltending from Yevgeny Nabokov. Some good scoring opportunities, not only in the overtime, but throughout the whole game. Not a lot of shots from San Jose, just 15 on the evening, but the story has definitely been Nabokov. He has been in an absolute zone tonight. His first NHL start. He has sparkled throughout, and it started right off the first shift of the game, stopping a clear-cut breakaway off of the stick of Stefan Yell, and he's been just as solid ever since.
16.1 to go. Face-off just across center ice, and Gary Suter will get back for it. Time for one last rush here for the Sharks. Ragnarsson picks it up in the corner. Has trouble down there. Now has to go back behind his own net. And they're going to kill the clock, and the Sharks and Colorado Avalanche will play to a scoreless tie, and Yevgeny Nabokov gets a shutout in his National Hockey League debut as a starter.
Well, that's quite an accomplishment. He was second in the league last year in the AHL with 5 shutouts. His first start in the NHL is a shutout. What a performance.
39 saves for the 25-year-old.